Hey, squirrel listeners, let's get back to chapter 13, I think it was. Sylvia sat for half an hour, then, wearied by the immensity of the wide landscape, she tried to rest her mind by examining the beauties close at hand. Strolling down the path the sightseers had taken, she found herself in a rocky basin, scooped in the mountainside like a cup for a little pool, so clear and bright it looked a diamond set in jet. A fringe of scanty herbage had collected about its brim, russet mosses, purple heath, and delicate white flowers like a band of tiny hill people keeping their revels by some fairy well. The spot attracted her, and remembering that she was not to stray away, she sat down beside the path to wait for her husband's return. In the act of bending over the pool to sprinkle the thirsty little company about it, her hand was arrested by the tramp of approaching feet, and looking up to discover who was the disturber of her retreat, she saw a man pausing at the top of the path, opposite to that by which she had come. He seemed scrutinizing the solitary occupant of the dell before descending, but as she turned her face to him, he flung away knapsack, hat, and staff, and then with a great start she saw no stranger but, who do you reckon? Adam Warwick. Coming down to her so joyfully, so impetuously, she only had time to recognize him and cry out, when she was swept up in an embrace as tender as irresistible, and lay there conscious of nothing but that happiness, like some strong, swift angel, had wrapped her away into the promised land, so long believed in, hungered for, and despaired of as forever lost. Soon she heard his voice, breathless, eager, but so fond it seemed another voice than his. "My darling, did you think I should never come? I thought you had forgotten me. I knew you were married. Adam put me down." But he only held her closer and laughed such a happy laugh that Sylvia felt the truth before he uttered it. "How could I marry loving you? How could I forget you even if I had never come to tell you this? Sylvia, I know much that has passed. Geoffrey's failure gave me courage to hope for success, and that the mute betrothal made with a look so long ago had been to you all, and that the mute betrothal made with a look so long ago had been to you all it has been to me. Adam, you are both right and wrong. You do not know all, let me tell you," began Sylvia, as these proofs of ignorance brought her to herself with a shock of recollection and dismay. But Warwick was as absolute in his happiness as he had been in his self-denial, and took possession of her mentally as well as physically with a despotism too welcome and entire to be at once resisted. "You shall tell me nothing till I have shown the cause of my hard-seeming silence. I must throw off that burden first, then I will listen to you until morning, if you will. I have earned this moment by a year of effort. Let me keep you here and enjoy it without alloy." The old charm had lost none of its power, for absence seemed to have gifted it with redoubled potency, the confirmation of that early hope to grace it with redoubled warmth. Sylvia let him keep her, feeling that he had earned that small reward for a year's endeavor, resolving to grant all now left her to bestow a few moments more of blissful ignorance, then to show him his loss and comfort him, sure that her husband would find no disloyalty in a compassion scarcely less deep and self-forgetful than his own would have been had he shared their secret. Only pausing to place himself upon the seat she had left, Warwick put off her hat, and turning her face to his, regarded it with such unfeigned and entire and entire content. Her wavering purpose was fixed by a single look. Then as he began to tell the story of the past, she forgot everything but the rapid words she listened to. The countenance she watched so beautifully changed and softened, it seemed as if she had never seen the man before, or saw him now as we sometimes see familiar figures glorified in dreams. In the fewest, kindest words, Warwick told her of Attila, the promise and the parting. Then, as if the dearer theme deserved less brevity, he lingered on it as one lingers at a friend's door, enjoying in anticipation the welcome he is sure awaits him. The night we walked together by the river, such a willful yet winning comrade as I had that day, and how I will enjoy it all. The night I suspected that Geoffrey loved you, Sylvia, and was glad to think it. A month later I was sure of it, and found it in the knowledge the great hardship of my life because I loved you myself. Audacious thing, how dared you steal into my heart and take possession when I had turned my last guest out and barred the door. I thought I had done with the sentiment that had so nearly wrecked me once, but see how blind I was. The false love only made me readier for the true. You never seemed a child to me, Sylvia, because you have an old soul and a young body, and your father's trials and temptations live again in you. This first attracted me. I like to watch, to question, to study the human enigma, to which I found a clue from its maker's lips. I liked your candor and simplicity, your courage and caprice. Even your faults found favor in my eyes, for pride, impetuosity were old friends of mine, and I liked to see them working in another shape. At first you were a curiosity, then an amusement, then a necessity. I wanted you not occasionally, but constantly. You put salt and savor into your life for me, for whether you spoke or were silent, were sweet or sour, friendly or cold, I was satisfied to feel your nearness, and always took away an inward content which nothing else could give me. This affection was so unlike the other that I deceived myself for a long time. Soon felt that this sentiment was good to feel, because I forgot my turbulent and worser self, and felt the nobler regenerated by the innocent companionship you gave me. I wanted you, but it was not the touch of hands or lips, the soft encounter of eyes, the tones of tenderness I wanted most. It was something beyond my reach, vital and vestal, invisible yet irresistible. That something, be it heart, soul, or mind, which drew me to you by an attraction genial and genuine as itself. My Sylvia, that was love, and when it came to me I took it in, sure that whether its fruition was granted or denied, I should be a manlier man for having harbored it even for an hour. Why turn your face away? Well, hide it if you will, but lean here as you did once so long ago. She let him lay it on his shoulder, still feeling that more was one to look below the surface of these things, and one that she did well in giving so pure a love a happy moment before its death, as she would have cherished Warwick had he lay dying. On that September evening, as I sat alone, I'd been thinking of what might be and what must be, had decided I would go away for Geoffrey's sake. He was fitter than I to have you, being so gentle in all his ways, ready to possess a wife. I was so rough, so vagrant, so full of my own purposes and plans, How could I dare to take into my keeping such a tender little creature as yourself? I thought you did not care for me. I knew any knowledge of my love would only mar his own, so it was best to go at once and leave him to the happiness he so well deserved. Just then you came to me as if the wind had blown my desire to my arms. Such a loving touch that was, it nearly melted my resolve. It seemed hard not to take the one thing I wanted when it came to me so opportunely. I yearned to break that idle promise made when I was vain in my own conceit and justly punished for its folly. But you said keep it, and I did. You could not understand my trouble. Where did it go? I lost my way. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Could not understand my trouble. And when I sat before you so still, perhaps looking grim and cold, you did not know how I was wrestling with my unruly self. I'm not truly generous, for the relinquishment of my cherished object always costs a battle, and I too often find I am worsted. For the first time I dared not meet your eyes till you dived into mine with that expression, wistful and guidelines, which has often made me feel as if we stood divested of our bodies, soul to soul. Tongue I could control, heart I could not. Up it sprung, stronger than will, swifter than thought, and answered you. Sylvia, had there been one ray of self-consciousness in those steady eyes of yours, one atom of maiden shame or fear or trouble, I should have claimed you as my own. There was not, and though you let me read your face like an open book, you never dreamed what eloquence was in it. Innocent heart that loved and had not learned to know it. I saw this instantly, saw that a few more such encounters would show it to you likewise, and felt more strongly than before, if ever the just deed to you, the generous one to Geoffrey, were done. It should be then, for that was the one moment when your half-awakened heart could fall painlessly asleep again, if I did not disturb it, and dream on and dream on till Geoffrey woke it to find a gentler master than I could be to it. It could not, Adam. You had wholly roused it, and it cried for you so long, so bitterly. Oh, why did you not come to answer me before? How could I? How could I? Till the year was over, was I not obeying you and keeping that accursed promise? God knows I have made many blunders, but think the most senseless was that promise, the most short-sighted that belief. What right had I to fetter my tongue or try to govern love? Shall I ever learn to do my own work aright and not meddle with the Lord's? Sylvia, take this presumptuous and domineering devil out of me in time, lest I blunder as blindly after you. Blindly after you are mine as I have before. Now let me finish before Mark comes to find us. I went away, singing the farewell I dared not speak, and for 9 months kept myself sane and steady with whatever my hands found to do. If ever work of mine is blessed, it will be that. For into it I put the best endeavor of my life. Though I had renounced you, I kept my love, let it burn day and night, fed with labor and with prayer, trusting that the selfish heart of mine might be recast and made of get sleepy again. Hurry up and finish chapter. Best endeavor, labor, and some prayer, trusting that the selfish heart of mine might be recast and made a fitter receptacle for an enduring treasure. In May, far at the west, I met a woman who knew Jeffrey, had seen him lately, and learned that he had lost you. She was his cousin, I his friend. And through our mutual interest in him, this confidence naturally came about. When she told me this, hope blazed up, and all manner of wild fancies haunted me. Love is arrogant, and I nourished a belief that even I might succeed where Jeffrey failed. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to stop again. Oh, lordy, lordy. So doggone sleepy. Stay that way. Yeah, looks like there's lots and lots of pages that it doesn't even look like I read. Well, much at all. But anyway, a little more for you, and I hope you have a wonderfully crafty day. Maybe see you in the YouTube streets. I think Kelly's Crochet Adventures comes on sometime today. Hope you saw my squealing squirrel mail. Got fiber. I'll save it for tomorrow. And I had to go by Walmart today to get my meds. And I found some Mainstay Sparkly Taupe. I think it's called Taupe Splash. But I thought that was a pretty color. I could put it with something or just do something with that. Okay, love you bunches. See you later. Bye-bye.